Okay, Daily Trader TV, episode 16, 6th of February 2018. And today's question is, what is liquidity and why is it important? Don't forget to take a few seconds to read the disclaimer. Can't give you advice on individual stocks, and you can lose far more than your initial stake if you don't know what you're doing. So, what is liquidity and why is it important? Why are we discussing this today? Well, in case you're not aware, had two big down days, particularly in the US. So overnight, the US markets had a huge down move. So you can see it that we go slowly up the stairs and out the windows. So it's this candle we're looking at here, this stick. Big move in the markets yesterday over the US, but it's not so much. I mean, the move is fine. You know, it's come right back into the area that we expected it to come through. I drew this line a number of days ago in this box, and what I was trying to say is that, you know, in an ideal world, we're going to drift into this area, but instead of going that route, we've gone out the window down to mean trend. So what was interesting watching yesterday was that at times there was literally no liquidity, and by no liquidity I mean there were no buyers. So I'm just going to play a short video and then we'll have a chat about the video.
What is liquidity and why is it important to you? Liquidity is the ability of an asset to be turned into cash. Some assets are more liquid than others. So here we have a bank account. It's highly liquid, as you can see. Your money is stored in this jug so you can get to it whenever you want some. Going out to dinner and a movie, quick trip to the teller machine, you're good to go. On the other hand, this is your house. It's not liquid. It's still an asset. For a lot of people, it's their most valuable asset, but it's going to take some time to turn it into cash so you can spend it, and you can't really break off a little chunk without going to a lot of trouble. Now, between these two extremes of completely liquid and highly illiquid assets, we have a brokerage account. It's not quite liquid now, but you can turn it into cash pretty quickly, and if you need just a little cash, well, you can break that off. But what happens when a massive cold front moves through and sends the entire atmosphere below freezing? That's kind of what happened during the financial crisis of 2008. There were lots of sellers in the markets, but not many buyers, so it felt like everything was frozen. But even then, the most liquid assets usually remain liquid. That kind of deep freeze doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's sure nice to have some ready liquidity in case you get thirsty or need to put out a fire. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
So that's a reasonably good short video on what liquidity actually is. You basically get a freeze in the market where there are no buyers. So I think one of the things that a lot of people who are in the markets don't appreciate is that structurally there were quite a lot of changes, particularly in the US markets, and the market makers are carrying a lot less inventory, in some instances zero inventory. So in the UK, if we go to the UK markets and we go on to level 2, we've talked about this before, we can see the market makers are in the market. So there are market makers willing to step up and buy stock here. That wasn't happening so much in the US yesterday. So we got a huge amount of volatility. So let's just go around the world, have a little look at what's going on. I mean, make no bones about it. This is a correction. How big it's going to be, nobody knows. There will be people this morning totally freaking out, and that's because they've got no real idea what it is they're doing. Everybody's happy when it's going up, but you get these corrections and people lose vast sums of money because they're highly leveraged. So let's have a look at some charts. So we can see that the UK has gone completely out the window across the board. Two big down days. Germany, big gap, big down day. It's right across the board, it's in every market. US had what is on the face of it a bad day, but in truth, it was more than overdue. We've had an amazing run last year. Everybody's made a lot of money last year. It can't go on forever. So, yeah, US, poor day. Now, if we go and have a look at oil, oil's looking okay. Asia, very, very weak. Japan, what a huge gap. Is this gap going to fill? We'll see. Let's have a look at cable. Pound still looking bullish. Euro dollar. Euro still looking bullish. So if we have a look at the portfolio, a couple of things to note today. First thing to note is that EQN was stopped out. So we've got the first loser on the table. I was actually amazed that didn't get stopped out yesterday. Held up quite well, but it got stopped out this morning. So what that does is take some heat off the table. And locks in a 1R loser. All the other positions are still good. The one that I'll be watching later today is AMAT. Just because once I've got a winner on the table, I don't let it turn into a loser. So let's have a good flick through, see what's going on in the charts. I would imagine that this correction is going to start hitting the news, which is generally a good sign once people in the normal domain, the public domain, are hearing about a correction on the BBC News. It's probably over. But we don't know. We take it one day at a time. So RFX come back in heavily, but it's fine. DPU, a lot of these are just liquidity. There's no, you can see here, there's a liquidity issue, but the volume's telling you that there aren't people clamouring to get out of these things. I mean, FLTA is down 4.4% from yesterday. It's only actually 200 transactions gone through. So it's actually better than I thought it'd be when I looked at the opening futures price this morning. So if we just go into level 2, just talk a bit more about liquidity. So this number here is the number of buyers, and this is the number of sellers. So I was saying before about liquidity. So liquidity is your ability to turn an asset from a hard asset into cash. So turn your stock back into cash. So you can see here, there's no liquidity issue this morning in this stock. It might be called down, but there are plenty of buyers in the market to match the sellers. Same here, right? There's more sellers at the moment than buyers, but at times yesterday there were no buyers at all, and that's a huge problem, because at that stage the price can literally go anywhere. So we've got more sellers in the market in our stocks today than buyers, but they're quite evenly matched. It looks like normal action to me. More buyers than sellers, evenly matched. So yeah, got to be a tough day for some people if they don't understand what it is to do and don't understand how to protect their account. But that's not really any of my business. I just carry on doing my thing. So that's where we are. We've had quite a sell-off, but we've still got a 1% gain on the account. And considering what's happened over the last 2 weeks or so, if we look at the 350, I mean, we're still up 1% on the account. I mean, that's not a bad result. The FTSE 350 is down circa 9.5% on its from low to high to low. So it's not bad at all. So that's it for today. Hit some thumbs up, share it with your friends, give it some love. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments, and we'll see what happens tomorrow after the US closes.